I'm Matt from Untrained Terrain, and today we're talking about Joseph Ferlazzo. Joseph Ferlazzo was a 42-year-old man who lived with his 22-year-old wife Emily in Bolton, Vermont. Bolton, Vermont is a town of about 1,300 people located in the heart of Vermont's Bolton Valley. Known for its ski resort and beautiful colors in the fall, Bolton is a popular vacation destination for travelers alike. Now, Joseph and Emily Ferlazzo had a van they converted into a camper, and for their one-year wedding anniversary, they went on a trip through Vermont, and they were having a great time, and just having great laughs, having a great time. By Saturday morning, October 16th, 2021, only a day after setting out on their voyage, Emily apparently went missing and her phone was not responding to anyone. Friends and family were starting to get worried as to her whereabouts and well-being. Emily was born while her mother was a freshman in college, and Emily's mother, Adrienne, wasn't planning on having a baby, but said that Emily's birth really changed her life for the better. Now, Emily was Adrienne's first child, but Emily would end up having 5 younger brothers, and Emily was said to be caring and loving from a young child. This spirit would result in Emily becoming a nurse when she was older to care for those around her. She also took an esthetician course and planned to return to cosmetology school at the time of her van trip with Joseph. Emily would go on to get a job as a registered nursing assistant in Laconia, New Hampshire at a general hospital. She would then go on to get a job as an ALA, a licensed nursing assistant at the University of Vermont Medical Center. Now, she was a caring person, she loved animals, and she loved singing. Emily moved from her parents' house in New Hampshire to Essex Junction in Vermont, where she met a man who was 20 years her elder, Joseph Ferlazzo. They married after only 4 months of dating, and her parents didn't like Joseph and the fact that he was controlling and jealous. Now, Emily's parents were always suspicious of Joseph, and they didn't like him very much. I mean, he was older, he was very controlling, very jealous, and Emily would come home with bruises on her, and she had no way to tell them where these bruises came from. Now, when they tried to call the cops or tried to intervene, Emily would tell them everything was okay, she would reassure them, and she would get them off her case. Now, this obviously didn't stop her parents from being suspicious of Joseph at every turn. I mean, he really was not the husband that they wanted for their daughter. Joseph was from New Hampshire and worked at a place called Body Art Tattooing and Piercing. Now, Joseph was known to his clients as being promiscuous and was known as being very controlling. One of his clients said she went on a date with Joseph where he drugged her drink and she would wake up to Joseph sexually assaulting her. Now, when she woke up to this and tried to get away, Joseph said to her, "I'm gonna stab you, but if you want, you can contact your friends and family first to say goodbye." Eventually, she said she got away after calming him down enough, and she went to the police, but the police would not press charges because they didn't have enough evidence. And she would go on to say that Joseph stalked her until he met Emily in 2020. Now, as Joseph was younger, his father owned a massage parlor, and apparently this massage parlor was raided by the police, and it was raided because it was run by sex workers, and they were giving massages with happy endings. Months later, his wife, young Lee Him Ferlazzo, was found in her home stabbed to death. Joseph's father was the one who found her, and the murder is still unsolved. Now, Joseph knew a lot of people in this part of Vermont. He had a lot of friends and family there, so he contacted his sister Nikki the same morning that Emily went missing, and he said that he would bring her a coffee over to her Airbnb where she was staying, so she said sure. So he went over, he ended up having a shower there, she asked him for a tattoo, he would end up tattooing her that morning, and when she asked where Emily was, Joseph would just say that she was back in the van sleeping and that she was fine. Joseph and his sister Nikki went out to breakfast together like nothing was wrong, and then her and Joseph went to another town in Vermont to visit Joseph's friend, and they had dinner there. And the next day, they would go back and have dinner there again, this time a barbecue, with all Joseph's friends and family. And when his friends and family asked where Emily was, he again said that she was back in the van fine, and that there was nothing wrong. Now, the next morning, he would take a motorcycle that he stored at this friend's house where he had the barbecue, and he would drive to St. Albans, New Hampshire to visit Emily's parents. And he told Emily's parents, when they obviously asked where she was, that she was fine and that he just had no idea where she was. He said they had an argument the day earlier when they were driving the van, and they pulled over, Emily got out, and she began walking, and Joseph said that he left her there and went to a convenience store. And then he said when he returned, Emily was gone. He couldn't find her. He searched for her, texted her, called her, nothing, to no avail. Now, Emily's parents obviously didn't believe Joseph. I mean, they didn't like him in the first place, so they would end up calling police and reporting Emily missing.
We're following breaking news this morning. Vermont State Police are looking for a missing New Hampshire woman. Police say 22-year-old Emily Ferlazzo from Northfield went missing on Saturday afternoon. Last night, Emily's family called police to report her missing. They say Emily and her husband were staying at an Airbnb in Bolton, Vermont. Family members say Ferlazzo and her husband got into an argument. Then she got out of the car and started walking near Bolton Valley Resort Access Road. Her husband says he went into the store, and when he came back to pick her up, he could not find her. Police say Ferlazzo was last seen wearing a long-sleeve black shirt, ripped jeans, and white sneakers. She also has a sleeve tattoo on her left arm and a snake tattoo from her chest to her torso. If you have any information, you're asked to call Vermont State Police.
Now, when the missing persons report was made, police obviously wanted to speak to the last person who saw Emily, which was Joseph. And it wouldn't be until 2 state troopers saw Joseph at a gas station that they would finally find him and be able to speak to him. The police would also obtain a warrant to search Joseph's van. Now, Joseph at first said that Emily was gone, that he couldn't find her, and eventually he would tell them that Emily was abusive and that he killed her in self-defense, and it was the only way that it could happen because she was going to kill him, so he had to kill her first. After finding human remains in the van, police would go ahead and charge Joseph Ferlazzo with first-degree murder in the disappearance and the murder of Emily Ferlazzo.
They have found human remains. They believe those are the remains of a missing New Hampshire woman. Now, her husband is facing a first-degree murder charge, and he's set to be arraigned today. 22-year-old Emily Ferlazzo disappeared while the couple was on vacation in Vermont over the weekend. Police say the remains were discovered in the van the couple was traveling in, and Joseph did admit to killing his wife inside that van. At first, authorities were not able to locate Joseph after Emily was reported missing, but yesterday a detective recognized him at a store in St. Albans and asked him to go in for questioning.
Provided a wealth of information for us, which was helpful for us to obtain a search warrant. And subsequently, we did a search warrant here at the barracks on the van that Emily and Joseph had been traveling in, and we did find human remains in that van tonight, which we believe that will be Emily's.
Well, Emily's family did tell me that they were headed up to Vermont yesterday, and an autopsy on those remains found was scheduled for today. Aaron, back to you.
Now, Joseph claimed that Emily was abusive and he killed her in self-defense, but obviously nobody believed this. He dismembered her and kept her in garbage bags in the van. I don't think that's what you do to somebody that you kill in self-defense. Joseph would go on trial for first-degree murder, and after a jury of 12 people deliberated for 2 hours, they would find Joseph guilty of first-degree murder. Now, Joseph won't be sentenced until later in 2025, but it is said that he faces up to 35 years in prison. Hey, I just wanted to say thanks for watching, and if you like what you see, like and subscribe for more.